Faith, Andy, is the belief in something for which we have no evidence. It does not apply to this situation. Okay, so we are probably going to break two records tonight. One, this is the oldest movie that I have reviewed, and two, this may end up being the shortest review I have ever done. I would like to say real quick, happy birthday, Dad, even though he has passed. Today is his birthday, 11/16. It is 2023. He passed a few years ago in 2016 or something like that. I am reviewing one of his favorite movies tonight, and it does apply for something in the book. A movie that I remember as a kid that I watched with him, so I thought it fitting to do it tonight. A few disclaimers before I really get into this. These videos are completely unedited and unfiltered, so whatever comes out of my mouth is whatever comes out of my mouth, and whatever you hear in the background is what you hear in the background. You may end up hearing my dog at some point. You never know. Adult things will come out of my mouth, so please, if your children in the room, put this on headphones or ask them to leave the room. And there will be spoilers for movies, especially the movie that I am reviewing. But have no fear, if you wish to avoid spoilers, I will put a list of movies that I mention at the bottom underneath this video, so you see what movies I give spoilers away for, what movies I simply just mention or just quote, which may not be a lot tonight because there's not a whole lot that I can reference from a film from 1953. So without further ado, we are reviewing tonight. I am reviewing tonight The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. And it does qualify for something in the book. Challenge number 15, a B movie. My dad was a huge fan of B movies. Them with the giant ants and, and this, The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, and the old school Godzilla films. Not the new ones now, but the old school Japanese Godzilla. He loved those movies. When he passed away in 2016, I went to my dad's house, which was in Arizona, which is nowhere near where I live, and was able to get a few things that I remembered from my childhood, including a special edition 50th anniversary edition, gold edition of The Hobbit. Like gold. We were not allowed to open this book because it was so quote unquote precious, which is on my shelf. You cannot see it because it's down on the shelf where it lies. But I've mentioned before that I have my dad's copy, the original book. The first book that I ever read on my own, Thinner, is on the shelf. Needful Things is on the shelf. There's a lot of stuff that I got when my dad passed. One of the things I got when my dad passed was his DVD copy of The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. And why did I want this movie? Not because I remembered it, not because I liked it, but because I remember watching this movie with him and how much he loved this movie. And so And that's why when I saw this challenge in the book, a B film, I was like, oh, this has to be, I have to save this for Dad and do it on his birthday, which is today. Okay, you are probably not getting this review until the next day, the 17th, but his birthday is on the 16th. I have completed this challenge on his birthday, 11/16. I rate this movie a 3 out of 5, a 6 out of 10, because most B movies are not going to get anywhere above that. They're B movies for a reason, and it's fine. They're fun. He loved B movies. There are people who love B movies, so one of my notes for later is let B movies be B movies. Let them be what they are and enjoy them for what they are. They're just fun and ridiculous. You're not looking at something that is, quality or trying to go for an Oscar. You're just looking for fun entertainment, and that's what this is. Okay, year released, 1953, and like I said, this is the oldest film that I have reviewed on this channel. Aspect Aspect ratio 1.37:1. I do not have a cold. What this is allergies, and it's been driving me nuts for weeks now. It's definitely allergies. And this is the first time, I finally feel what my brother felt all his life. This is the first time I've really dealt with like continuing allergies, and it's driving me nuts. And hopefully it goes away soon. Okay, moving on. Running time, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Very short. It's not long at all. A short little as a lot of Disney, cartoons and things like that. It's short. Genre. Okay. So there are a couple of things I want to mention about the categorizing in on IMDb, and this is one of them. They put this in horror. Really? Come on, guys. This is okay, this is horror like Evil Dead 2 is horror. You've got to put it in that genre, because what other genre do you put it in? And they put it in horror sci-fi. Okay, I agree with the sci-fi, absolutely, but okay, you got to let go of it. It's a horror. It's ridiculous. It's old school. It's fun. Rating. So apparently this has not been rated, but on IMDb, they categorize the rating as approved. I don't know what that means, and I don't really think I care to know what that means. It just says approved, and maybe it's like approved for like children, because there's nothing in this movie that is that I wouldn't show to like a 5-year-old. I mean, there's nothing in this movie. It's just good old-fashioned fun. And so that's what I guess approved is. You can show it to your kids if you want. Starring. Okay, I don't know. 1953. There are a few people from that era that I would know if you mention their name, absolutely. But looking at the list of this movie, I was looking at IMDb, all the people on this list, and there was only one person in the entire cast list that I recognized the name, and it was Lee Van Cleef. Okay, he's been in a couple of, old westerns that I've seen, Clint Eastwood westerns and other, not just Clint Eastwood. So that's the only name that like popped out. And I was like, there's no way that I would know who he is, because I've only seen him in a couple of, Western movies, and I was like, there's no way. I was surprised to realize that I recognized him as soon as I saw him. I was like, oh my God, that's him. That's Lee Van Cleef. I was like, whoa. So I was shocked that even though I don't really know him, I recognized him as soon as I saw him. But I do, because this may not be my era of film, but people may appreciate this era of film, so I would like to list, some of some of the cast that's in this film. I hope I'm not saying this wrong. Paul Hubschmidt, Paula Raymond, Cecil Calloway, Kenneth Tobey, Donald Woods, Lee Van Cleef. Sorry, Lee Van Cleef. I've had a drink or two tonight. Steve Brody, Ross Elliott, Jack Pennick, Ray Hike, Michael Fox. There's a bunch of people in this that I don't happen to know, but I wanted to mention because these are the people that, Frank Ferguson, Alvin Greenman, these are the people who made the film, and they should be mentioned and they should be remembered. This film was entertaining, and well, that's one of the questions. I would recommend it. It is entertaining. Directed by Eugene Laurie. Don't know Eugene Laurie. Again, this is of an era that I don't connect with, so I don't really know these people. Produced by Jack Dietz. The movie, when you're watching it, says Jack Dietz and somebody else, I can't remember, but IMDb says the only producer, there are co-producer and assistant producer, blah, 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 but the only producer they label is Jack Dietz. Written by Lou Morheim and Fred Freiberg. I hope I'm saying those names correctly. Music by David Budolf. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Awards received. There were... Okay. This is a B movie, people. Why would you ask awards received? Really? Okay, fine. I mean, the book has its flaws I've mentioned before, and this is definitely one of them. Like, if you're asking me to review a B-rated film, why would you ask if it won any awards? There's a slim, probably almost zero chance that a B-rated film is actually gonna win an award. Okay, fine, but I did look it up, and it was nominated for 2 awards. It was nominated for a Hugo Award in 1954 for Best Dramatic Presentation. I don't know what that means, and I don't think I've ever heard of the Hugo Awards, so okay, whatever. It was also nominated in 2016, so way after it was made. It was nominated for an Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films USA Best DVD Blu-ray Collection. And it was part of, I'm assuming, the Harryhausen collection. Okay? And that's why it was nominated among the other Harryhausen films as the best collection. It did not win. Harryhausen is fucking I love Harryhausen. His style is unique and beautiful and wonderful, and you just have to love and accept that style for what it is. I've talked about that in my review of Clash of the Titans, and one of these days I might review a third Harryhausen film, Jason and the Argonauts, because I love that movie. It's great. It's fun. It's fantastic. And maybe one of these days I might review that one because it's the other Harryhausen that I appreciate, that I would put on a level of quality film, not like, I just enjoy like the Sinbad films. I enjoy the Sinbad films. They're fun. I would watch them, no problem. But Jason and the Argonauts and Clash of the Titans are 2 of the Harryhausen films that I would say are actually really good quality films, even if you watch them today. Good movies. This movie is just, it's just fun, and it's a B movie. Come on, people. It's just fun. Okay, moving on. Why did you choose this particular film? Tonight's my dad's birthday, and he loved this movie. That's why. Have you seen this film before? Yes, I saw it when I was a little kid with him, so I really didn't remember this movie at all. So tonight watching it again was kind of like watching it new, because I really don't remember it. Like I said, I watched this movie as a kid with my dad. Would you recommend this movie? Why or why not? If you like just fun, ridiculous, monster movies, then yes, I would say yes. If you enjoy Harryhausen and you have not seen this one, I would say yes. Watch it just for the Harryhausen presentation, because every time the monster shows up, it's quality and wonderful Harryhausen. It's done. It's his style and done very well. So yes, if you like B movies and if you like Harryhausen, I would say yes, watch this. Otherwise, no, I would not recommend this to anyone, just anyone. Which character were you most able to identify with or connect with, and which way? Okay, so it took me a while to realize this. I was like, really? Am I going to identify with anybody in this film? I don't know. But as soon as it happened, I knew I identify with Dr. Ellison, the old Dr. Ellison. Okay, so when it's first brought to his attention, he is not very open-minded, but later on he becomes very open-minded. So I am much more open-minded than he is, but he does go along with it. He is open-minded. He does try to help them, Nesbitt. Okay, what I identify with is not something that has happened yet, but something that I wish would happen, and I hope does happen. Is Dr. Ellison dies doing what he loves, and the discovery of, oh my God, there is a prehistoric creature here today, and not quite what we thought it was. Because he points out in the few seconds that he sees it, he points out the differences between what we thought and what is reality, what it actually looks like. He's only got 1 layer of fins instead of 2, and there's something else about the shoulder. I can't remember. Like I said, This is basically the first time I've seen it. So I can't remember exactly, but he definitely points out this is the differences between what we thought it was and what it actually is. And then he is about to say the most astonishing thing is, and then, he's killed. And I would love to be doing what I love, making film, because I will be doing that. I would love to be making film the day I die. Like, that would be, I know it would be, semi-traumatic for people who are on set with me, but if I could die doing what I loved, that would be the ultimate way to go. Okay. Best line or memorable quote. Of course, I would not know that ahead of time because I have not, seen the movie. And since 1953, I would not know any of the marketing or know anything like that. Like, movies today, I may know memorable quotes because of the taglines from the marketing, but this is 1953. So I was watching it, and the one line that really stuck out to me that I loved was, again, Dr. Ellison, as he's being lowered before he sees the beast, before he sees him. He says this wonderful, wonderful line, and it was like, whoa, I love that. Like, how did this make this into this film? Such a beautiful line. And he says, I feel I'm leaving a world of untold tomorrows for a world of countless yesterdays. And I love the way he delivers it. I love that line. It's such a truism, but and something we wouldn't think of. Like, I'm leaving a world that is progressing that I don't know how it's going to end for a world that has history that I have, been studying my entire life. And I love that line. It's great. It's wonderful. Were you surprised by the ending? What would you do differently? Okay. This ending is so cheese, and I will get to it. Of course, it's ridiculous and corny and in total B fashion. And would I do anything different? Of course, if I were making this film, I would do plenty different, not just the ending. And I'm not going to go into what. Because the next question is, what changes would you implement to make this movie a list movie? No. Like I said, let B movies be B movies, because people enjoy them for what they are. B movies. It's okay. I love The Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. I actually really enjoy The Evil Dead as well, but The Evil Dead was trying to be a horror film, whereas The Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness were just ridiculous slapstick comedy, fantastic, wonderful films, and they are total B, like, ridiculous and have a great cult following. Why? Because people love these. So let B movies be B movies, and so I wouldn't change this to be an A-list film. But what I did say in the note is this is basically Godzilla. I mean, the storyline that progresses, everything that goes through, it's very simplistic, and it's very Godzilla-like. So if you were to remake this movie, it would be a Godzilla-ish film, and nobody would really watch it because why watch that when you can watch Godzilla? Unless you had some kind of twist to it, which I don't know what you would put to it. Anything else you would like to add? I have a bunch of notes. The last little quote line here, it says, it is estimated that half of the films produced by the 8 major studios during the 1930s were B movies. Okay, well, yeah, of course. We have this new technology. I mean, film started in the 20s. So you're talking about the 30s. So you're talking about, we have this new technology. What are we going to do? We're just going to have fun with it. We're not going to be serious with it. We're just going to have fun with it. And that's what it was. And over the years, we have gotten much more serious and much more artistic about it. Whereas in the beginning, we were just having fun with it. This is something we can, this is kind of new, and we're just playing with it and having fun. And that's what this movie is fun, and we're playing with it. Okay. Am I at the beginning? I'm not at the beginning of my notes. Let's get to the beginning of my notes. I was on page 2. Okay. Maybe this review will be, as long as the other ones. I don't know, but I felt like I didn't have much to say, so it would be a quick review. The opening voiceover. Oh my god! Okay. This is a note for later. I'm just gonna say it now. This is 1953, people. If you're gonna watch a movie from 1950s or 60s, you have to understand this is a total, like I said when I did Psycho, this is a total different type of film. They had a different view of what film is and a different style of acting, a different style of film. And so you have to accept that. And this beginning voiceover, like right away, just telling you what's going on. And the guy who's doing it and the dramatic read is so old school. And so like, okay, we are definitely in 1953, which is fun. It's fun. Like regular A-bomb testing, like, this is just a thing. This is just a schedule. We're going to do another testing. That's a thing. That was a thing. That if they made a movie saying, well, we're just doing another A-bomb test, I would not, that would be outside the realm of possibility, believability. I'd be like, really? They're just doing another A-bomb test? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, unless you're doing a movie about that, I'd be like, this doesn't make any sense. But in 1953, is that something as a society, is that something that they accepted? That, yeah, we're just doing A-bomb testings all the time. Because that's how the movie starts. They're just doing another A-bomb test. I was like, oh, okay. I love the first time we see the Beast, that we see it and the character doesn't. And then he's like, he heard something. He's not sure. It adds to the suspense. It's really cool. I like the way they did that. And the Beast is just cool when we finally see it. And again, it's 1953. Accept it, people. This is Harryhausen and another great, Beast made from Harryhausen. I mean, this is one of the, if you were to make a collage of all the Harryhausen, the really great Harryhausen creatures, this would definitely be, in my opinion, definitely be one of them. I mean, the vulture from Clash of the Titans, the Calabas from Clash of the Titans, in my opinion, would be number one. The Cyclops from Sinbad, the Talos from Jason and the Argonauts. Oh my God, yes. And this would be one of them. The skeletons from Jason and the Argonauts, those things would be like Medusa from Clash of the Titans. Those would, the Kraken, release the Kraken from Clash of the Titans. Yes, that would, those would be them, and the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. You cannot forget, this guy is cool. This guy is done so well. I love it. The music for this film is not at all the kind of music that you would just put on and listen to, like, so many great soundtracks like The Witches of Eastwick or Black Hawk Down or something like that you would just like put on, or Jurassic Park, and just listen to. But this music like perfectly fits the film, and a 1950s film, 53 film, because nowadays we wouldn't be this upfront about the music. We wouldn't be this overbearing about the music, but the music for the time and this film fits perfectly. I love it. It does a great job. When we finally see the skyline of New York, it's so interesting to see. Okay, I know this is a sensitive topic. I get it. 9/11 is absolutely a sensitive topic. The Twin Towers, I get it. But I would like to say that nowadays, when we see a movie filmed in New York and we see the skyline, a lot of us, including me, go, oh, the Twin Towers are not there. And especially when I go back and watch a movie that has the New York skyline, that has the Twin Towers, that's even more of a, the Twin Towers, they're no longer there. I get it. That I absolutely do. Seeing the New York skyline in 1953, before the Twin Towers were even conceived of, was interesting. So watching this movie was actually made in 1953, not just acting like it's 1953, but was actually made before the Twin Towers were even conceived, was interesting. I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that. It was neat to see. Of course, no one believes him, this guy about... He sees the creature, and he has no doubt in his mind. He is a scientist. He has no doubt in his mind that what he saw was real. But of course, no one believes the fantastic, even from someone, a very credible source. Of course we can't believe him. Why? Because if we believed him, the movie would move along too quick. It's that every attack, the first couple of attacks before the beast gets to New York are so great. They're singular and they're so great because it's just, again, Harryhausen and beautifully corny and total B movie. When he attacks the fishing boat and he tears it up and he eats it, and then when he attacks the lighthouse and knocks it down, it's you have to look at it for the time that it was and the style that it was. It is actually great. Like, oh my God, I love it. Harryhausen was a standout in his field for a reason, and this shows it off. For those people who are Harryhausen fans, if you haven't seen this, watch it. It's fun. It's great. He does a great job. I love that it's 1953, and the one person who believes him about this beast is a woman. And a woman is responsible for getting him to pursue this, because he's ready to go, no, I'm not going to pursue it. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Everybody talks to me like I'm crazy. Maybe I am. And she gets him to say, look, let's just see if you recognize it in these pictures. Let's just see if what you saw can be quantified as a real species from the past. I love that it's a woman. That's great. The Canadian... This seems ridiculous to me. Maybe it's not ridiculous to people of the time. Okay, maybe it's not. And I don't know a whole lot of people from that time. I do have a client who was born in the 40s, so I can probably ask her. But I thought it was like ridiculous that the Canadian captain's contact information, like his address or something, was in the newspaper, in the article. Like, what? You were able to figure out, you were able to use the phone company and say, hey, I want to call this person at this address, and they from a newspaper article? Really? I wouldn't put my contact information in a newspaper article nowadays. I mean, I wouldn't use the newspaper, but still, I just thought that was okay. An era that I am totally not used to. And the phone numbers, obviously. I mean, you watch, my mom was a huge fan of I Love Lucy, and so I know every episode by heart probably. And so I get that the phone numbers back then were locations and not numbers, but nowadays they're numbers. And so that didn't surprise me much. But what surprised me was his contact information was in the newspaper article. Okay. Oh, I laughed and had to rewind when the operator, the phone operator, the Canadian phone operator says, he's a stubborn old man, especially on the subject of serpents. This is a B movie, and that is like the perfect B movie line. He's a stubborn old man, and especially on the subject of serpents. He won't answer. I love it. It's just, this is a B movie, and yes, Rhedosaurus. That's the same. Like, that sounds such a ridiculous name. The Rhedosaurus. It's a Rhedosaurus. Now, I know it's not red like R-E-D. I think it's like R-H-E-D, Rhedosaurus. But still, Rhedosaurus? Now, I thought that was ridiculous. Just like, which Jurassic Park was it? I think it was the third Jurassic Park where it's the Spinosaurus. And I was like, that's fucking stupid. Really? You couldn't come up with a better name than Spinosaurus? And then you look it up and you're like, oh, that is the name, isn't it? It actually is a fucking Spinosaurus. You couldn't come up with a better name? Come on, paleontologists. You couldn't come up with a better name than Spinosaurus? But it was actually called a Spinosaurus. And I thought that was the dumbest name in the world. Now, I'm going to look up Rhedosaurus? Rhedosaurus? No, it's fake. Okay, that name is fake, Rhedosaurus. Okay, so I just had to look it up because I wasn't sure. You know what else I wanted to look up? How many miles is 20,000 fathoms? Oh, that's nothing. It's 22 miles. Oh, interesting. I thought 20,000 fathoms was like this astronomical, like the beast from 20,000 fathoms. I thought it was this astronomical, like, depth, like insane depth. But it's 22 miles deep. That doesn't seem okay. That doesn't seem like a huge distance. But, you know, maybe it is. Maybe I'm not. My frame of reference is not depth, ocean, nothing. I have zero interest in like underwater sea exploration or anything like that, deep diving, none of that. So my reference when it comes to depth is like almost zero. But I feel like 20,000 fathoms is only 22 miles deep. I'm like, that doesn't seem to me like a huge distance, but maybe it is. Anyway, that's way off topic. Oh, I wrote this note. I was really sad when Dr. Ellison died. I was not expecting it. Like I said, I saw this movie with my dad when I was a kid, so I don't remember anything. This was absolutely like watching it for the first time. And when he died, it was sad. Oh, I like that character. Oh, he's fun. Oh, he died. But like I said earlier, he died doing what he loved. I was like, okay, that's the saving grace of the whole thing. And then when the beast finally shows up in New York, I love that part I love that the police officer thinks that shooting him with his little 6-shooter is going to do anything. I love that you think that 6-shooter is going to do anything to a beast of that size. But I also love even more when when the beast bites and his little legs are like out of his mouth. The little legs are like when he eats I was laughing my head off. Like that's so wonderful. That's so great. I love the look of his little feet. Oh, I wrote this note. Dad was right. These B movies are just ridiculous and fun. You just gotta have fun with it. Like I've mentioned before, it's like the Evil Dead 2 and the Army of Darkness. You're not watching an Academy Award winning film, so just have fun. This is just ridiculous fun. And I think The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms absolutely measures up to just a fun time and ridiculousness, and just watching this this prehistoric beast tear shit up. You know, you're watching Harryhausen. Oh, such a neat... Okay, this I was not expecting. Like I just said, I'm watching a B movie. I'm not expecting anything fantastic or wonderful. I'm just expecting to have fun. And so far, this film has been that. It's just been ridiculous and fun and great. And like, okay, it's entertaining. It's not something I would turn off. Like, oh my God, Once Upon a Time in America. I will never watch that movie again. I feel like it was the biggest waste of time in my life, probably. I was just like, oh God, why am I wasting my time still watching this 4-hour director's cut of, Once Upon a Time in America? Oh, and I get that people like it, and you know what? If you love it, more power to you. I'm glad that somebody likes it, because he made a film, Sergio Leone made a film that I hope people appreciate, because I don't at all. This movie, I actually am entertained. This movie entertains me. It's fun. It's ridiculous. I like it. I was not expecting anything to challenge my mind or be a surprise. I was not expecting that at all. But when we discover that this beast from 100 million, what did they say, 100 million years, 100 million years ago is spreading an unknown disease and killing people, I was like, that's cool. Like, what an awesome idea. Like, in his DNA or in his whatever, he is spreading a disease that is killing people that we don't know and we're not used to and we don't know what to do with. I thought that was really neat. That was a fun plot point that I was not expecting. I liked it. And then how do we deal with that? How do we deal with the people who are dying? How do we deal with it has this disease? And even if we kill it, what's going to happen? And I love the idea of like, well, we have to incinerate it and thereby destroying whatever disease it's carrying. Okay, that's cool. It's fun. It's something interesting to, pay attention to. Okay. And then Lee Van Cleef. I keep saying that, Van Cleef. Lee Van Cleef. Boom. As soon as he showed up, I was like, oh my God, that's him. That's him. And he's so much younger than I ever saw him. So let me look this up. 1953. This movie was made in 1953. Lee Van Cleef. Holy shit, he's in Escape from New York? I'm going to have to rewatch that because I don't remember him being in Escape from New York. But he is. Okay, well, that's cool. So, anyway, what I'm trying to think of, aside from this movie, 1953, what is the oldest movie that I have seen Lee Van Cleef? And I've only seen a couple of movies, not realizing that he was in Escape from New York. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was 1966. Oh, but I did see For a Few Dollars More, which is 65. I did see that. Nope, never saw that. Nope, never saw that. Never watched that. Nope, never saw that. Okay, so we're talking 1953. And the oldest movie that I have seen, Lee Van Cleef, what did I just say? For a Few Dollars More, and I've only seen that movie once. 1965. That's 12 years? Is that 12 years? Wow, did I do that quick? 12 years. That's a 12-year difference. People change in 5 years. 12 years? Absolutely. So I did not expect to recognize him, but as soon as he showed up in this film, I was like, oh, that's him. Oh, whoa, that's, Lee Van Cleef. Wow. And he looks like, a 20-year-old. Holy shit, 20-year-old. So like I said, I didn't think I was going to recognize him. I did. He's the shooter that, shoots the beast at the end, which, again, total B movie. We don't have to make any rational sense. What? Some fucking isotope, some radioactive dart thing. And this is the only one that we have. It's a metal fucking dart that looks like maybe radioactive. Like, this is so, like, what? We're still... Do we believe this, or do we just accept this is a B movie and we're just going to go with it? This dart thing that's some kind of radioactive, I don't know. They put on these ridiculous suits that don't shield anything from anything, because you're looking at, like, he just puts the helmet on and it has a flap. It doesn't, there's no security to it at all. And I'm like, that's supposed to protect him? Really? And then, like, the idea of, like, we have to go on the roller coaster up to the you gotta just have fun. This whole ending is like, okay, we've gone ludicrous for this film, but this ending is like beyond ludicrous. Like, okay, this little dart thing tacked to the end of the gun, and we're going to have these stupid hazmat suits on that aren't really hazmat suits, and we're going to get on the roller coaster to the top because we can't shoot him from the bottom. There's no way. Okay. And then when he does shoot him, like, the roller coaster, like, falls off, and he's like... This ending is just... I don't think it was on purpose trying... Evil Dead 2: An Army of Darkness is trying to be funny. That's the point of those movies. Even though they put them in horror, these are comedies. It's trying to be funny. Okay? This movie... The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, I don't think was ever trying to be funny, but this ending is so ridiculous. I can't help but laugh through the entire ending. Like, really? and that's just, part of the being a B film. Oh, and when he died, the poor Rhedosaurus. When he dies, I feel bad. He's just a dinosaur out of time. Oh, like, poor guy. And when he screams at the end, he sounds like they used the same. It sounds like they used like the same scream as the vulture from Clash of the Titans. That's what it reminds me of. And I'm like, oh, that's what it sounds like. Okay. And then the ending is so abrupt. Like, as soon as it falls dead, and it's like, the end, done. Like, okay. I guess that's it. And since they did the credits in the beginning, we're like, the end. And then it goes black and you're done. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, he's like, he's dying. And then the main characters hug, the Nesbit and what's her name? They hug. And then they show it like dead. And then the end. And then black, done. And you're like, whoa, that's the end? That's it? That's the end? Okay. Like I said, 1953, it's a total different era of film, and you just got to accept it and go, okay, that's fine. So, happy birthday, Dad. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms had to do it. Sorry for those of you who were like, why would I watch a review about a 1953 B movie? Like, that's ridiculous. But had to do it. I hope you at least listen to it. It is short. It's only 40-something minutes. So thank you for listening. And the next one I will get you will definitely be something from an era that wasn't in the 50s and wasn't black and white. I don't know what's next, but it's not going to be from 1953. Thank you for listening. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Absolutely entertaining. If you like Harryhausen and you have not seen this film, I will say again, watch it. It's fun. Okay? Talk to you soon.